Hello and welcome to Dog Day Chess. In this episode we're going to look at several ways that a bishop can be trapped and captured. One of those ways is simply by making effective use of your rook. In this game I'm playing black and it's white's move and the white bishop moves to attack my rook. When the rook moves over to counterattack, it takes away this triangle of squares from the bishop. And since the other flight squares are also controlled by black pieces, the bishop is trapped. The best it can do now is sell its life as dearly as possible, as Nimzowitsch once wrote, and exchange itself for a pawn. Another way of trapping a bishop is squeezing it in with pawns. In this position, the white bishop's scope is already limited to just these two squares. I confine it further still by sending my b pawn up, and then by sending my a pawn. At this point, white should have played a4 to stop my a pawn, but instead he castled. This allowed me to push my pawn to a4 and win the bishop. And finally, another common way of trapping a bishop is blocking it in after it captures a pawn. This is especially true when the bishop is capturing a rook pawn. In this example, it was black's turn to move, and white's rook pawn looked free for the taking. But after the bishop captured the pawn, white played b3, trapping the bishop. From here, black could capture a second pawn before giving up the bishop, and it could be argued that black has adequate compensation for the bishop, with two pawns and the weakened position of the white king, but the point is that because of the bishop trap, that rook pawn was not as free as it may have seemed. Here's another example of this trapping pattern, but this one does not involve a rook pawn. Here the white bishop captured my c pawn. However, that pawn was actually poisoned to the bishop because d6 blocked him in. After that, the bishop was easily captured. So these are some of the more common ways that a bishop can be trapped and captured. As always, I hope you learned something from this episode, and thanks for watching.